All right, so let's move to the figurine. Yeah, we're going to start with Sewedo again.
Oh,
Get it off your chest so that the rest of us can move on.
that's really doing. I think that's a bit unfair. I'm sure that I would like to feed off the vibe of some of the guys.
Okay,
Okay, let me
okay.
start then.
Oh, okay,
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 let
okay,
me
okay,
start.
okay, okay, okay. Okay, let's give him this one. Let's give him this one. D, kick it
No
up.
problems, I'll start. Okay. Okay, so now the
Synopsis.
figurine.
Synopsis.
It's
Oh, so sorry.
Oh, synopsis.
Synopsis.
You people keep
Oti,
forgetting the part that
sorry.
you're doing.
Let him
Oti,
I didn't want to say
sorry.
anything so that I know. Sorry, doing. I didn't
Let's
want to.
not
I
forget the
didn't want
importance
to.
of Odiri right now.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Yes,
enter
so our
into
voice
Please,
that vibe.
the voice.
our voice
Let's hear the
the
voice.
voice.
The figurine was a creepy movie for me, so I want to try and
Is
see if I
it
can be
though?
creepy enough.
I have seen creepier. Okay, sorry.
The
project.
figurine shows the story of two friends and a girl who is their love interest. Their lives change when one of them discovers it discovers a mysterious artifact in an abandoned shrine, which, according to legend, bestows 7 years of good luck. But no one told them about the next 7 years. So something like that. So I'm done.
Okay.
Time, girlfriend.
Okay.
By the time as we
Okay,
continue with
so
the show, this your voice will give you girlfriend. Let me just inform you now. D, over to you.
Yeah, very easy.
Okay, so before I start, because I'm not going to get technical like Sarah, I'm sorry, I don't do the technical stuff, but I just say it from my heart. So before I start with the figurine, it's funny because I'd seen the figurine, and I just realized after we talked about it that I only saw it in the movie, and that movie I went for the premiere. Why? Because my friend was in charge of the costume, of the what they call it, costume for the movie. I don't know how what's technical stuff for it. So I heard about. She told me a lot about the storyline before I even saw it in the movie. And then I went to the movies. I saw it, and I was like, yeah. No, I don't remember my reaction to it. That's the word. But then it now won a lot of awards, and that was the first award she won for a movie. And then of course she's gone on to be one of those prominent people in the movie industry. So back to it, I was like, oh, okay, let me see this. Her name is Obijo, right? So she when we said let me see the movie, and I saw it, and I now realized why I didn't go back to it, because I was like, I was only faithful to this movie because she was on it, she was on the team. So I looked at it and I was like, oh God. Now, which brings me back to the point where I'm saying, do I feel this way because there have been so many good things, giving props to Kunle Afolayan, who's the shit actor as far as I'm concerned. He
Yeah.
he does bring out some good storylines, or he gets some good scripts. That's what I want to say. Yes, he gets some good scripts. But my problem is that he doesn't execute them properly. Now, Figurine was fantastic on the surface. You read it, oh my God, there's an artifact, there's a mystery behind it. Where I got really, really confused was, so if you're saying it was all set up at the end of the day, why is it that there were also mysterious things befalling everybody? Like his dad died, his someone lost a baby, someone lost another the same person lost the child, and then you now come back to say, oh, the one set things up. Does it mean at the end of the day that the 7-year bad luck was really, even though he's the one who orchestrated the statue coming back and forth, does it mean that his misfortune was, even though he set it up, his misfortune was that 7 years of bad luck was for him to eventually kill himself? I got that at the end of the movie, but the end still confused me. Someone opened their eyes to look at someone. The ending confused me, and I was like, it left me hanging, and left a lot hanging. There are too many loose ends. I think that's the word.
Okay.
Too many loose ends.
So
yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
I think
Can I? Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
I first watched Figurine when it came out, when they came to show it in my school. Like I was bragging already, they shot it, some of it in the school, so they came to show. And when we watched it, we theater students were told to watch it as a teaching platform. So we went there with a mind of critics. What we noticed was the directorial style. The man, he created a story, two forces working. There's a legend, there's a myth that this particular goddess, 7 days of blessing and then 7 days of curse. And then there's this other guy who is madly in love with this family, staying with them, and disasters keep happening left and right. And then it comes to say, I'm responsible for this. And then he goes, but okay, if you do this, does this mean Raromi Wore was one, did the other one? He said, well, I wish I could tell you that, but it feels like it's all coincidental. So is what Kunle Afalayo did something a lot of directors do, a lot of theater directors and playwrights do. They leave you on a cliffhanger and let you decide how you want the ending to be. A lot of people were like,
okay, so basically, sorry, Dr. So basically saying that some things that happen is not your village people that are doing you. Some things that happen. Some people actually set it up. Yeah.
What she's saying, like some Femi did, and then because I mean, in what world does your asthma go away and
Fair
after
enough.
7 years it comes back?
Sorry,
Doctor, to add to that, I think in this case it is similar to the case of the story of the will I say the horseman or death. You know,
Death
where
and the
this
king.
man had heard, no. This man who had been told, oh, you will die, you have a date with death on this particular day in maybe Lagos. And then he decides, okay, if you say I'm dying next week in Lagos, do you know what? I'm going to Akure. And then he gets to Akure and still meets, and still meets the end that he has been told he will meet, even though he has tried to. So in this case, I think it's similar. Like Dotsu said, I think it's intentional where you were left, make of it what you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I always like, the mysterious, the otherworldly, I always like a sense of that.
He incorporated.
In this case, I would say that he was still Araromi. I think that they will still all have ended badly, regardless of what what's his name, what he did. Was it Femi or what's his name?
The mischievousness of what he did. Yeah.
Regardless of
I think
sneaking around, they will still have come to it. They will still all have come to a bad end in one form. There will still have been misfortune, regardless of how Femi played it. Femi saw that opportunity when they began to realize these things, did not believe in it, and played on it. But at the end of the day,
I think Femi I think Femi saw that opportunity that 7 years ahead before, when there might have been a story around it.
But did anyone tell him that story?
That's the thing.
Did anybody tell him that story?
Side.
When he just came back, what's her name? What was her Mona went to meet him and was like, oh, think about it. Since since this time, did you suddenly good fortune suddenly befall you, and all of that. I think that's when he added 2 + 2 and decided to seize, the opportunity and make the best of the situation. It was that when she brought it to him, like, wait, have you experienced this? Has this happened to you? And then he was like, aha, what a perfect opportunity. And that's when he was like, oh, if I was going to have everything I wanted, you'd be my wife and all of that. And I think that, and notice it was after that he started paying attention to Linda. Because before he wasn't even. It was after that he started paying attention to Linda, because by then he now had
to deflect off from saying, he's focusing on Linda now. Then, but who also agrees that his sister was a shit actress too? I
think that girl.
Oh my God! I think she's new, right? She was new.
She was new then.
So it's almost 10 years old now.
So I excuse her for that. That was her very first. So, because if you read the casting, that was introducing her.
Yeah, introducing. Yeah.
So that was any moment I see that I take my time. I'm nice when it comes to the critic, because I know your first time I'll be nice. So
but it doesn't matter. That's why we never saw. There's lots of introducing that we still see that are consistently getting better. But she was just shit.
My observation, which I didn't get an answer to throughout, in the beginning, when Femi came back from school and was telling the sister that was where he was posted to serve, the father was indoor, gasping, trying to breathe, he's on his bed. But they can hear the children talk. And the sister says, where did they post it? And he said, Araromiri. The father started gasping in there. He heard. He knew that there's somewhere called Araromiri that is not okay with. Right?
Yeah.
That showed. Then
that was the impression.
That was the impression he gave us, that he knows that place. And
sorry,
like,
I didn't get that impression.
Oh, please, if you go watch it, I can't remember.
Rewatch it.
No,
the moment he mentions Araromiri, the father starts breathing harder, trying to, and then so I don't understand why they go to the door and then the father doesn't say anything. Like, what was not the whole purpose of trying to get their attention?
His cancer, wherever the cancer was bugging him, he couldn't talk. But my own question now is, Baba obviously knows there's something about Araromiri, history, whatever, and the man is an art person, which means he will know history, and he should know. Why does Baba Desti go ahead to start helping the soul carve the image of the said Araromiri goddess to sell for art, knowing fully well that this particular even knew Araromiri, judging from that his reaction, then he should have known the stories behind it. And why does this still go ahead to help the soul carve those
together? Because they work together.
So are you saying that the father is actually aware of what the son was doing and was helping?
The father was aware. No, had to be aware.
You had to be, because that's the only explanation.
Because he was telling the father, like, the work you're doing, I'm going to take it outside the country to sell. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, that was what he told the father.
That's what they wanted us to know. That's what they wanted us to think.
So the father, I know that the sister was aware of.
I think you guys are thinking too much. I don't think the father.
You have to think too much about it.
But I don't think the father. No, I don't like the that kind of came in. The father is a tragic kind of person. He understands dangers that comes with certain things.
Which is why he died.
But he was
he died because of the curse. He died because of the curse. What Araromiri gives you, she takes back. He died because of the curse.
He knew. I think he knew. He knew that if he had helped his son to do that, he would have died. But he had to help his son to get revenge.
Statues.
When he knew that, this is going to bring the disaster to my family, why to go ahead to come?
Because it already happened. They've already picked. It's already been set in motion.
I don't think he knew.
The father could have done nothing about it.
I think that why was he carving all the statues? Why was he the one doing all
to help his son to revenge?
So, because my own point is, you cannot categorically say, I know that this image,
to get the girl,
the image of the goddess that you should avoid, and I'll still be carving it for you to go and sell to you.
Honestly,
he was doomed either way.
I really disliked the Femi character because number one, he was a victim of his own circumstance. You like a girl, you've liked her for years. You didn't do anything about it. And then you are now angry with her that she friend-zoned you. If you don't want to be friend-zoned, take yourself out of the equation. He pursued her down to the state where she, all that. I really didn't like his character. I didn't feel sorry for him. I didn't feel anything.
I'm with you.
I didn't feel the girl made it from the beginning.
We saw it from the fourth wall. Though you are seeing from the fourth wall where you can see everybody for themselves. You not see it as your best friend. You don't know what is going on when your best friend is not there. So if we see it because they made us see it that this guy is crushing. Shola noticed too. Shola knew.
Shola knew. Yeah, Shola knew.
To be the typical arrogant friend who knows he wants my woman, but he's never going to get it. So in the beginning, he wasn't treating Mona well, but at the same time, he still held on to Mona like he's going to marry her. He knew, but it's like, well, she's mine. Just the Jones. There's nothing you can do about it. Mona.
And he was pursuing the Mona a pillar to post.
Mona innocently put Femi in the friend zone. And what I see is that I think each time a little bit Femi tries to break out of that zone to express is maybe how he feels.
Uncle Shola, we Kolobi her back.
Femi that has chosen Shola. So I feel like Femi, yes, he took his time. He ought to have
be fair, even the Mona was aware that he loved her.
But Mona had chosen.
She has just relegated him to the friend zone, and she has tied him. This is when they tie your destiny inside bottle. That was what she did. The guy just Femi knew. But good boy.
Thank you.
It's his
I was going there.
character.
Wait.
And he suddenly became
calculating.
I don't think
No, there are
was a
times that
good
he
that
suddenly
is
became
very
calculating when he should have been calculating
boy.
from the beginning.
Well,
He suddenly
Femi
became
wasn't
calculating.
a good boy.
Why?
Femi is
Why
your
was his
classic
sister in
narcissist.
the house?
I swear.
Semedo, I
Why
hope you are
was
hearing
his
us.
sister in
Good
Femi's
boy.
house?
Ladies are
I don't remember
Say
why.
you are
that
He's
hearing.
not a good boy.
See,
He's the kind of
See.
person you need to avoid. That kind of
the
Femi.
sister, Lola,
Why?
that was the
He
perfect.
was
it-
entitled. Femi,
Because
as
Lala-
he
Why
Femi
was
was
he there? They
entitled.
didn't
The
tell
girl
us why she
said
had
she
to be in
don't
that
do.
house. That was my
He was
question.
following her.
Yep.
spent that child on purpose. Lola was
Because-
there on purpose. Who finishes from primary school, secondary school, into university, and then you go and start living in your brother's friend's house? She was there on
Friend's
purpose. Femi knows that the friend, Shola, is a womanizer. He knows.
No, but
So
don't
he was
forget
using- he was the one
against
using
her
everyone
living
then.
there. She was her choice. It's not about. It wasn't about Femi.
He knows
It was
that
her
friend is a
choice.
womanizer. He knows that Femi is Shola is a womanizer. Now it's a three-way thing. Shola is a womanizer. No go see fine girl for face. No one follow. Lola, the younger girl, we all have that case of girls crushing on their other brother friend.
My brother's friend.
My brother's friend. This is another classic case of Lola crushing on her brother's friend. And Femi, Shola, bad boy, took advantage of that. From being the big brother, come and stay in my house, be helping us with the children. You are like a sister to us. He moves into her. Femi sees all this. He's willing to sacrifice his family to get what he wants at the end of the day, which is what? Destroy Shola.
No. Don't forget when he first came back and he found out she was living there. He was against it. Like, why would you leave the house I built to move in with somebody else? Don't forget.
Femi he knew
From
it.
the start, he did not.
If he wanted to be the aggressive big brother, he will abandon the sister away from there. He
Or
can't.
maybe he was not, then he found
He
the
left
opportunity
it
in
on
her being there.
purpose because he was
Like
going
I
to use
said,
the opportunity.
I think you have number one. Don't forget. I don't think
See,
he
what I
decided.
see is
He didn't
what
even
I-
see an opportunity until the conversation with Mona. Number one. Number two, you are looking at it from the whatever of big brother, blah blah blah. In my own house, and why I can relate to it, and why I don't always see things like that. The kind of relationship I have with my siblings. If you decide today, I am going to destroy my life and kill myself, my siblings will gather and tell you how it does not make sense, the pros and the cons. But if you decide, ultimately it is your choice. Nobody will force you to do anything that you, an adult with responsibility for yourself. So I don't always project that. You see that overbearing siblings who can make decisions for you. I cannot relate to it personally.
I understand you.
Yeah, but this is the story. But this is the story that is the reality that happened.
It is reality.
You're lucky.
I come from a family where one auntie that I've never met before can come to the house today, open the door, and because I didn't greet her in time, she start talking because she's my auntie from my mother's father's side twice removed. So I understand that. Femi is brother. It's obvious the relationship between Femi and Lola is egbon. From the first scene, she goes down to her knees to greet him. We all have another brother. I don't go all the way down, and my other brother has got more than 6 years on me. I don't go all the way down. Sometimes when I greet him, and I'll say, greet your brother. I will say, what? I beg, I don't need it. Now, Femi's world, after their father, Femi is the next authority over Lola. So yes, he speaks, she humbles. Femi had the opportunity to take Lola out of that house. The moment, okay, I'm back now, I have a house, go and stay there. Femi can say that, and we'll go there. Worst case, they said, you can't leave daddy alone in that house. Daddy needs somebody there. But it gives you that, big brother, why are you here? But it doesn't make a move to say, let's go, or he just leaves it there. Femi knows what he's doing. That guy is very calculating. Lola is there. She's serving two purposes: distract Shola and implant what I want there. She's there. She doesn't really know that she's being used. She's just enjoying.
But my point is, it was convenient for him. He wasn't the one that set up Lola being in Shola's house. It just happened to be convenient for his plan.
He has that. Why is Lola in that house? And I said it's a three-purpose. It's a kind of like three-purpose. Like, why is she?
Okay, looking at it generally, not just from the point of view.
No, it's
not very. Okay.
She served three purposes. First, the fact that she was crushing on the other brother's friend, and two, putting her in the lion's den, the man that would go for anything in life because he thinks he can have it, down to your best friend's sister. And of course, perfect for Femi, who was looking for every opportunity to destroy Shola for taking the only thing he values. So yeah, Lola had her own purpose there. Why she thinks she's achieving what she wants, being close to the man she's attracted to. She didn't realize she's being used to actually destroy that same home. That's my own image. That's my own perception on our own presence in that house.
Sewedo, you have been quiet.
I think I know why Sewedo chose this movie. Based on past conversations we've had before. Sewedo strikes me as the person who challenges the conventional trope of the African mind between superstition and reality.
Mm-hmm.
There is a scientific reason for this. There must be a scientific reason for that. There's nothing that can just happen by chance. Therefore, there should be a reason for it. So the whole movie itself is questioning, and I think I like what Kunle did with that. The whole movie is questioning you. What do you think?
Who do you think is responsible?
What do you think? Is it superstition? Did it really happen? Is it really true that after 7 years this will happen to you? Or was it actually Femi that just played with it? Or was it both? Who knows? And the movie would have benefited on the cliffhanger. It did sort of, but it wasn't the cliffhanger that I wanted. I think the movie should have ended when he struck Linda and carried her out towards the beach. Then it should have ended there, because then you now start questioning what happened.
Did Linda survive?
Yeah, did Linda survive? Did Mona survive? Did she go crazy?
What
happened to Lara?
I think the use of it ending the way it did is it now even will I say confuses you further, because if you did not know for a fact that Femi died, then you don't question as much. But now that Femi too has come to, in quotes, a bad end, it makes you even question it more. So then the question.
No, I'm coming.
Or was it him?
I'm coming.
Is more valid.
I'm coming. Based on what MCU is doing now, I'm just saying, if I was Kunle, what I would have done, but it was 2009, so maybe you didn't think of it. I would have put end credit scene to show that he was between that scene where he was with Lara and he was choking because he needed his inhaler and Lara had taken his inhaler from him. From what I know with asthma patients, because my father was one, he always, because of multiple attacks and experiences that he has had in the past, he always had multiple. He had one in his bag, one in his room, one in the sitting room, one in the office, one in his pocket. So for someone like Femi, who is calculative, unless you want to assume that he oversaw it, it was an oversight, he didn't think of it that way. He left his only inhaler with his sister, and now he's choking. So in the end credit scene, if he was there looking at Lara and choking, and they will just do a fade to black, and that's it. That way, we don't know whether Femi actually survived, whether he even killed Lara, because he's a psycho now. He could have killed Lara.
Sorry, Audrey, and this is a general thing, not particular to this movie.
Yeah.
There's this assumption we all make when it is a movie or a work of art. We always expect everything to be logical, to be explicable. Mm-hmm. But we forget that art is an imitation of life. And there are lots of things in life that don't make sense. There are a lot of things people do, and you are stumped trying to understand, but say, oh yeah, we're ready, or everything.
There should be a scientific reason to it.
What I'm saying is, there are things people do in life. I know a number of people who have died, who lived with asthma all their lives and died as a result of an asthma attack because they did not have their inhaler. Yeah. These are people who, they've managed very well. They always have, but for some reason that day.
And to be fair, Femi has not had the asthma incident for a very long time. He's not used to the precautions and everything again.
Thank you. But
speaking as an asthma patient, that's very possible.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
when you
asthma.
see that kind of
I don't
thing
always have mine.
You're like, this doesn't make sense. If it was a real asthmatic patient, you will always have. Yes. But the truth is, even in real life, we always forget that even in real life, there are things that happen. Life is not always logical, which is why we have mysteries. There are things that you continue to question, and you're like, there are things that happen and you see with your eyes. They're like, wait, if I did not see, even as I saw it myself with my two koro eyes, I'm still here questioning myself. Did that just happen? did it really happen as I thought I saw it? So when it happens in movies too, no, it doesn't make sense. But we forget that art imitates life. And I tell people, no matter how ridiculous you think things are in movies, I promise you, if it's based on real life, or real life is even more ridiculous sometimes. So like I said, it's a general thing, not just directed at this movie. But Sowedo has been dodgy since, so we have not heard from him.
I have two points to still drag before Sowedo talk, because I don't want Sowedo to go. I want to talk before he does. We talked about the storyline, we talked about the characterization. One thing I noticed about this particular movie was Kunle Afolayan tried to bring out that creepy horror part with the lighting and the sets. With the lighting and the set, he really tried to delve into figures and
thriller, like a thriller as opposed to
thriller. Yes,
you should have given it the psycho treatment. At the time he shot that movie, that was creepy. Yeah, should have done that.
As at the time he shot it, the setting he used, the light setting, the dark, the low light sets in the house, even the room of the child, even Junior's room. Junior was supposed to have a happy kids room. Spider-Man images you saw everywhere. But it was still dark. We didn't really see Junior's room during the day. It was always at night. When the father came to tell him the good night story, dark. When he then did that, he's a Superman stunt too. It was like there was some sort of dark energy around that kid, and was, no matter as happy as it was just going to end up being a disaster. I don't know if any other person noticed that he really pushed that dark, like there's a dark cloud over these people. There's a dark cloud over them. Even during the day, the energy, the light setting, it was one thing I noticed that he really tried to bring it out. A lot of people may have not looked at it because we're focused on looking at the fine boy at that time being a nerd. I mean, Ramsey Noah, the fine boy of that time, coming to play a nerd role. It was refreshing for a lot of young people then. Was what I noticed. Then two, just like NDG, and a lot of people did not get the closure as to who was responsible for the disaster. Is it that Araro Mary actually struck, or she struck a few? She struck a few, and then Femi too. So
it was deliberate. It was deliberate.
Araro Mary finished that shit.
Femi made himself available to Araromi, but the end Femi was still setting.
So this like actually a conversation we argued about.
They both struck.
Or Araromi possessed
is and
used
Yeah, okay, wait. Do you remember when they were in camp? There was a siren. There was a screeching sound that kept calling.
The day. I expect like say RMD.
Yes, no.
Femi kept saying.
We kept saying
we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
There is no possession.
Her connection.
Yeah.
Oh.
Her connection seems to be on and off. So I think Femi acted of his own free will. It's just that their end was already determined. So no matter how much they try to maneuver, I'm not sure that I believe in predestination, because for me the first thing is free will. Free will is the number one thing.
So I think Femi thought it.
So I don't think that Femi was possessed. He was of his own free will. He just acted into Araromi's throat.
Play into Araromi's scheme. Yes, I will lose everything, but if Shola dies, then I have Mona at the end of the day, and then starts.
What was that screeching sound you kept hearing when they were in car?
See, it's just that's the whole idea. We all it's because of that that they're trying to let you know that there's something creepy, dangerous.
Yes, so
nearby.
One could conclude that what Araromi did was to throw out cast a wide net, and whichever
an invitation,
and remember they were going in the trail.
Yes.
What did you say? I didn't hear that.
I said that's when my own theory of the she at any point, because she made a call. She called to many.
Yeah, she made a call, a general call.
Yeah,
she made a general call, and whoever answered, come.
And each time they were going there was that screeching sound, and two answered, Femi and Shola. Shola was greedy. He saw money. Femi had the soul that was beautiful enough
Femi
to
is the
possess.
Agbako. Is the one that when you are leaving your house, when you remember to say,
That's
"Oh,
my
like
point.
the car
When the spirit of God was usually
Shola was.
Femi was that spirit.
Yes,
The guy had
as Shola was. If he hadn't stopped to wait for Femi, he would avoid that. But Ori Kon Agbako, he did not pray that morning. He was busy chasing women up and down. You see?
So, you seem to be. You probably did not sleep too well overnight.
I did not sleep at all.
Yes, I'm not surprised because I mean, I see notification about your stuff almost every second and all that. Sometimes I can't even keep up. I think you guys have really done very well, and I think Odiri is onto something when he says that why I suggested Figurine, because as at the time it came out, I was on one or two interviews on TV where I was asked what I thought about the movie, and people used to just be surprised about how I went off about the ending. They thought maybe I was being a bit harsh about that ending. Anike said something. Bisola said something. Anyinke? Okay, all right. Anyinke said something about free will. So for me, regarding these sort of things, I was telling some folks on the platform I said, if ants and insects were to look at us human beings and try to interpret what these gods we're up to, they probably have very, very funny ideas that when we hear it, we're like, oh, come on. I mean, it's not like that kind of thing. When you look at human beings on this planet and how vast the planet, the universe is, I think that one of the biggest things human beings have done to help themselves and sometimes has not helped them is that we tell stories of each other. And we create so many, and that was what I was saying in the first edition. Storytelling is so powerful that it literally creates realities from perceptions. So, for example, if those ants were to say, these huge giants, why do they do what they do? I'm sure, they will be like, the 5 or is it the 6 men of Hindustan. Now, in the Bible, there was a time that God sent Isaiah to go and tell Hezekiah that he was going to die. Now, of course, Isaiah was, a grade A prophet. So you couldn't say that, this one is fake prophet. And he went in and said, Hezekiah, nigga, calm down. I'm told to tell you that you're going to die, so put your house in order. You're going to die. And so the Bible itself reports that Hezekiah went back, told God and said, what? You want to kill me?
No.
Me? You know what I did? You know how I served you and I worshipped you and I did great stuff. I mean, have you seen my resume? And then check it out. Anybody who really does that oboju with God, including David, usually gets away with it. Yeah, and then God said, oh yeah. Okay, like Isaiah, go back, tell him that, look, we are kosher now. In fact, I'm going to give him more years and stuff like that. Remember, in the Bible as well, the Bible says that God told Moses and said, nigga, these Israelites, they've been making me so angry. I'm going to wipe all of them out and I'm going to start my own stuff with you, with your family. You are going to be the next big patriarch. And then God said, what? You mean after all that desgi, which was reported on blog sites and stuff about how you brought them out of Egypt with all that desgi, you are now going to do that and then end the story like this? What the hell do you think is going to happen to your street cred? And then God said,
same as street cred.
Okay. and then he said,
don't understand. My religious mind is panicking. God knows best.
It's a very good way to preach.
Even though some of us are religious, I beg, have mercy on us.
No, please, I want to continue. I like this.
So the Bible says that God said, you may have a few points there. All right. I'll chill out. I'll go take a break and all that. Why am I saying this? I'm trying to say that even everything we do shows the primary look. It shows that some of these, in fact, it shows that most times there are no ghouls or ghosts or werewolves or stuff. We are the makers and the monsters and the whatever. In fact, 95% of the time, you find that human beings are usually behind stuff, including some of the some of the nightmares we have. In fact, what I find is that
we are our village people.
People use these narratives when they want to scare people or even control them. The moment folks really, and that's the beauty about science. I'm not saying science is perfect, but science will tell you that, guy, calm down. You see this stuff? Do it here. In Italy, you people in Italy, do it. You people in Argentina, do it. In Costa Rica, do it. Oh yeah, what's going to be the outcome? 99% of the time or 98% of the time, everybody gets, there's no desge about these things. For me, I think that guy was a psychopath. That Femi guy, or at least a very terrible, a terrible sociopath.
And he's a narcissist.
Yes, and he's a narcissist. Brilliant. So he had mental issues. But you see, many times
he had the most sympathy towards the end.
That's why he's a narcissist.
Let me finish.
Which sympathy? I'm sorry. Who had? Sorry, explain that statement. What are we sympathizing?
No, how many times have you watched it?
This is my second time.
Why you are saying with sympathy? First time of watching.
No, why am I sympathizing?
No,
I didn't sympathize. No, that's the thing. I was never sympathetic to him. I was never.
Okay, no, guys.
Sorry, Sewedo, can you go?
Sorry, Sewedo. The first time why I stand by that. I'm sorry, Sewedo. Why I stand by that point of because that's sympathy. First time I watched it, the audience reaction to him was poor guy was suffering in silence, and all he wanted to do was just express his love. If we all blame the Mona that if Mona had seen Femi for the love that instead of sticking to the to the playboy who Shola was, this disaster would not have happened. You don't get he's a psychopath.
Again, Dotun, the disaster happened because of of the guy, the so-called guy that is supposed to have the sympathy. There was no disaster from no nonsense Aromire. Look, let me tell you, right? Do you remember you said that there was this sound, right? What and that the lighting and the cinematography was in a certain way. That is exactly what we talk about an unreliable storyteller or an unreliable witness. The guy is just stringing you along, and mind you, it's not just the cinematography, which was great by Yinka Edwards, of course, another great guy. It was the kind of music, there was this haunting Akpala type music, and the way
the Arara Mire song, theme song, yeah.
I know, be even the way.
Sarah, stop trying to direct Arara Mire. She has rep.
She sees Arara Mire is not possible to do anything.
Again, calm down. You see what you just said? You talked about rep. Now, how many times have you seen? In fact, anyone, and we need to discuss this movie maybe next week, Seb. Usual Suspects. Calm down.
Okay.
Usual Suspects. What did you learn from Usual Suspects? The storytelling about reputation. Hey. How many times have we seen, even in a movie, where you say, "Oh, you are the guy. I thought you would be taller." When who told them that Arara Mire grant an interview? That's what happens in a superstitious society where you're not even testing things because you are afraid not to even test things because you don't even want to know.
But
Why?
that does not wait.
Yes, I'm
where I
listening.
disagree is that then does not invalidate those things.
I am saying that if you do not test it, how would you know it doesn't invalidate? Have you?
Okay, chill.
Yes,
remember
Please,
that
I don't want to test Sarah Romero.
Remember that.
That's what I'm saying.
Remember that the father was seriously sick and suddenly became well.
Which
remember
would have
that
been
they were doing badly. Chill.
Indeed.
I'm going to because I agree with you. No, the funny thing is that in your thought process, I agree with you, but I cannot be absolute. The reason why I cannot be absolute is
like
taking
you are
too logical.
You are too logical.
Taking this movie as a point of reference. The father suddenly got up from his bed. They started prospering in their business.
He didn't have asthma again. No treatment,
he
no
didn't have asthma again. All of that
his
was just
eyesight magically restored.
Again.
And then after 7 years, chill. And then after 7 years, suddenly he needs his inhaler. His father dies. The other one has children. The other one has children that suddenly, have to die. So if we want to be logical, you're like, okay, why? Right? So why does he suddenly get up from bed?
Okay. Sorry, can I ask a question? How did the pregnancy? How did she lose it? Did she fall down?
Yeah, that to me was stress. She overdid herself with the stress because she was.
So we can say no. I want to give this one out to say wait though. That one now I am not exactly sure she lost her children to Araromiri.
No. See, those ones.
I don't believe the children died because of Araromiri.
Can I answer you guys?
These things are not absolute.
Let me tell you guys, and that was why I started with my anecdote. I said if ants were going to describe how we human beings live our lives, what do you think? How do you think they are going to describe it? Human beings by every standard, we are animals. The only difference is we have logic.
Consciousness.
Everybody has consciousness, please. What I'm saying is we have logic.
Have you hung out with dog
reason? Yeah, reason.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, logic. It's that logic that even allows us to even contemplate ideas of superstition or science. Because I mean, if you say an idol is responsible for a thing, idol you've not spoken to, you've not seen. What are you doing? You are saying that because this happened, she lost the baby. This one is still the logic. So there's still some logic at work. The only problem is you, with the logic, you've come to a dead end because you do not have certain information. The people, if Apostle Paul traveled from Galatia to Thessalonica and all of that, if you in modern days tell him that bros, in our own time we can do video conferencing now, you don't need that stuff, how would they have described that stuff? Wouldn't it have been magical?
What sorcery is this?
Exactly. Oh, brilliant woman. What sorcery is this? I am saying that,
which is why you can also not cut off the
No. I am saying that we need to emphasize, madam, calm down. We need to emphasize. Right? So you see, even you said, I don't want to find out about Araromire or whether she's clinical or not.
Araromire is not affecting my life.
No. Calm down. I am saying, I'm using that as a metaphor now. I am saying that the reason why we have great advances in tech, in all of that, is because to a great extent, some of these Oyinbo people, some of them Arabs, these are people who have dared to go out. I mean, Galileo, for example, had to face off the church at a point due to what he has seen, he's known, he's tested, he's experimented upon. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that really what we do not have, that we parcel out to the unknown, is just info that we do not know now. It does not mean that...
We agreed on that.
It doesn't mean that tomorrow we'll now find out that, all these people that have been making sacrifices to Shokbono, all they needed was vaccine. Just that. So again, while I agree that sometimes it's like I'm sounding, logic, but I'm saying that it is even the logic that allows you to contemplate even the unknown. And then you go forth even with that fear and all that and say, look, let me even find out what's going here. Femi, psychopath, ni bobo, calculating, vindictive, nonsensical,
very vindictive.
And
my God.
I am saying that because the thing he was planning could have engulfed his sister too. Was he not thinking about that? Omolomo, why? Why is your vendetta?
Like he did not fight the sister for sleeping with the friend. He used it to manipulate. I'm like, oh, dude.
That is what I am saying.
I think the worst part was that he knew.
Really.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that while the cliffhanger, as you guys have said, or that ending kind of says, okay, guys, make up your mind. I'm thinking that, he didn't leave enough gingerbread crumbs. Remember, the best thrillers are those that tell you,
that's all.
We've been showing you this all the while. It doesn't bring something from...
They were just lines that were in, tied up well.
I support you on that. If you come, even if it is make up your mind, make sure that when people see where the villain or whatever says, oh, this is what I've been doing, even you say, oh my, how did I miss that? I don't see think about it. We are still arguing about, okay, is this true or is this not? We should at least have seen that guy was a psychopath from little things. So that when you go back, you say, this was just, this was part of his nonsensicality seeping out, but he quickly covered it and that kind of thing. It is not.
But we didn't see. Did we? We didn't see.
That is not good storytelling.
That is why.
No. I wasn't arguing with you. I was trying to piece if maybe I missed it.
No,
yeah.
And that is not even a plot twist.
That's
not even a plot twist.
So that's what I'm saying.
Someone will call it a plot twist. Someone somewhere will call it a plot twist. But that's
it's not.
It's not
a plot twist. It just happened to be somebody that knows how to hide.
In terms of its character, it also adds up for me. Because you see, there are a lot of people who are not okay like that. That you'll be thinking it is. They don't have any behavior that is typecast that you will see in a Hollywood movie. But break it down. Like this guy. If not for the plot he now hatched, he's the kind of guy that you will see and you say, good guy, respectful, caring for his family, there for his sister. Even when they sent him abroad, he has built house for his parents. He's your classic guy that you want your kids to be friends with because he's so nice. And there are a lot of them like that they would do anything as crazy as they killed somebody, but from the human angle, in a one-on-one, but look at, you see that whole relationship, that whole threesome, with the friends and everything. Yes, there are a lot of people actually who they are friends and then they end up liking the same girl and all of that. But they still manage. I mean, look at Love Actually. He likes his friend's wife, but eventually removed.
I hope I don't get crucified. I dislike that movie.
What?
You get crucified.
Do I like that? No.
Can we not get
all the love stories were cringe-worthy.
Sorry, can we not get
Love Actually?
Don't I will deal with you later because that's one of my favorite movies. But as I was saying,
it's one of my favorite too.
Me too.
My point is for normal. This thing happens to normal people. You like the same people. It's how you handle it. But see this one.
Sorry. This is very. I need to quickly say this to you, Doing. This is very rich coming from someone who just sits down and watches Hallmark.
I know, right?
Yes. No, we'll come back to it. I love Actually. But my point.
Please, let's not make it a movie to review. Nobody should be making it a movie to review.
No, we will review it. We will enjoy it and just revel in it. But like I was saying, there are a lot of people even in our lives And in fact, you too. Oh, and the thing about people like this is they don't have to do anything like, oh, he used to hurt his pets, or it could be you, it could be me. That if you don't check yourself, you wake up one day and the things you will do will let you know you are like this. So it's not necessarily, and that's
You
why
wake up and say, it's like I'm mad.
They are dangerous. That's why I prefer
It's like I'm not
like
well.
Shola. You know,
So can I say something? What if?
But people like that.
What if he wasn't a psychopath? What if it's
just being a fool?
No. Understand that? What if it is years of tolerating being pushed down? Years of tolerating nonsense, and then he snapped. What if it is that?
That is what I'm saying.
That's what we are saying. Part of the snapping.
I'm saying no. I'm saying what if it's not a mental thing? It's just a revenge thing.
That is my point.
There are levels to revenge now.
Revenge is still madness.
There are levels to revenge.
There's an extent to go that is just, like
you're actually buttressing my point that there are a lot of people like Femi, people like you and me, everyday people, that it is the things you do and the way you react in certain situations that now make you there are people, somebody like that Shola is an idiot guy, but he doesn't strike me as the kind of person that will go as far as killing somebody. He's a useless guy that you cannot depend on.
You're even going too far. You're even trying to say that the killing was even an extreme. The killing wasn't even the most extreme of it.
A lot of people kill out with anger.
He was torturing someone he supposedly loved. He was torturing her. That is.
Yeah, he tortured her.
Yeah, he had waited for her to love her.
He wanted to break her. He
wanted to break her. He had. So you know what? I have just accepted.
Mona goes on him for support. Takes it up from there.
Things it's just a useless.
I'm not meant. So
I hope you guys. I hope you guys realize that mental health is what it is, and people who are suffering mental health challenges more often than not always start out as, in quotes, normal people, and that there is a traumatic event that triggers stuff. So it's not about revenge or whatever. It's about the fact
that hint of mental illness in this one.
Yes, I've said this.
Honestly, I have just come to realize some people. To me, I think calling it mental health is giving a disservice to mental health people. This guy was outrightly wicked. Honestly,
That's what I was going to say. That there's some
outrightly wicked.
But there is a name in the mental health world. There is a name for those kind of people.
I'm not saying we don't have the killer psychopaths and sociopaths and the rest. But I'm saying this guy, it will take a lot. Like honestly, I just see him as a villain. Straight out, I am going to kill all of you, because he had been taking it in. He had been swallowing. I mean, for God's sake, sorry now. Mona said I've been sending you pictures, I've been sending you this thing, and she and her husband joke about him being in love with her. Yet, idiot, you are still sending him pictures to show him, yeah, I did choose you, but dazzle in my life. I did this thing, but dazzle in my life. No, seriously, but I just feel calling what he did a mental thing is a disservice to mental health people. Honestly.
You forget that we were discussing a beautiful mind. One of the things we said was that those characters that John Nash saw were only going to subsist as long as he was antisocial. So there is in the darkness of not voicing out your frustrations lies the bacteria of creeping mental conditions. That is one of the reasons why the way you treat stuff is you go to unburden your mind. It's not enough for you to say this is a legitimate want or a feeling. One way or the other, you need to talk about it to somebody who will either say, Oga, move on now, go to it. It is when you don't tell people. And again, I agree that you could say that people are just outrightly evil. But again, that is what we are talking about, science. How much of what we call evil is either ingrained mental condition, something you grew into because of traumatic events or stuff like that. And remember, when we're talking about Beautiful Mind, I've often said that I feel all of us have potential to lapse into these things. It is now how we now deal with those things that could have been traumatic events that triggered these things. So
yeah, which is why two people will experience something and then both of them
and then
will
you would handle it differently. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with you, Doyin, to an extent about people are outrightly evil. Like the people they always show that are always there torturing insects when they are kids, MOBA. But I'm saying that look, for that nigga, he actually he orchestrated something so serious.
Exactly, Jay. There's something called revenge. There's something called repression. When you've repressed feelings for so long, and all of a sudden you want to now give
find another woman.
But you guys chill.
Exactly.
Do we want to really? Do we want to point? No, chill. What I'm trying to say is, let's even look at it from his point of view. Do you think that Mona and what was Kunle's character? Do you think that they were
Shola?
Do you think Mona and Shola were, maybe Shola on his part was very, they were showing off. They were
not showing off per se. Not showing up. My problem with them was
inadvertently, they were not sensitive.
They both knew. Thank you. That's the word. They both knew he loved her. You people are friends. Uncle, calm down now. Let me land. They knew, you understand? They should have maybe had the talk, but he himself, what is it? What is it? Will you die if you don't get the girl?
Yes.
He invested so much. Let me tell you something, man. You see the thing. You see this. I told someone one day, but I think we're talking about this issue of marrying who you don't love but loves you. I told somebody that I can never put someone in the trap of unrequited love. It is a disservice to that person to intentionally do that. I can't. My conscience won't let me, because I understand what it feels, and I don't let myself get. I've got into a stage where I don't let myself get there anymore. So if I just see I'm going inside this thing, I pull out instantly. He had so much time to move on. No, he chose to stew over a girl that was sending him pictures of her and her husband and her son. What is it? What is it? She chose Shola every time. She chose Shola every time.
Every time. Don't when she was being married. It's not like she was actually rubbing it in
I
his
am
face.
not understand my point. They were not sensitive enough. No matter how we try to play this, they were not sensitive enough. They knew. For I said, they were making fun of him for that. Now, do you know he's still in love with you? They knew.
Shola was mad faulty in that angle. You know,
Shola is a great asshole. You can't.
He's an asshole.
Expectations of him.
I'm trying not to blame her so much. You said
sorry. No. Mona is to be blamed. No. Mona is to be blamed. If you know someone loves you, wait first. You see, I've been quiet. This one is vexing me. Sister, wait. I'll give you time to talk. Let me. This is vexing me. Mona, you know he's in love with you. You don't love him back, but you want to now forcefully convert him to your gay best friend. What is that?
But isn't that what women do?
You'll be sleeping. See,
let me tell you.
You'll be sleeping.
I've been there.
Put your whole body on him. You're giving the guy small home.
I've been there. So that's why when you guys are talking, I'm just looking at you. People don't know. I've been there.
It is
the
not
only difference is that I did not enter
Mona
madness.
wanted to eat her cake and have it.
Yes. So
she will. See, then you will never ask me with the one that they tell this matter small.
Don't
do that. No.
See,
that's that you have
talk my own. Please, this is annoying me.
Let me talk. Let me speak. Let me come from Mona's angle. I understand where you're coming from, doing. I have a 95%, and I said this confidently. Take it to the bank. 95% of my friends are guys. So yeah, I'm that girl.
Will they give me money if I take it to the bank?
No.
I need money.
What bank, please? I want to know.
Anyone you walk into, just say my name. Not festival. Do you know where I am? Do you know where I'm from? Do you know me at all? You don't. No, that's
she's from Araramire.
Majority of the time, we as individuals, we are aware of feelings of our friends around us, but we may be oblivious to some, and we may not. We may
not oblivious.
Oh, no, calm down now. I'm not saying she's not. I said we may be. Now I agree. She knows, but she never reciprocated. She never talked about it. If you notice, Shola talked about it. Each time Shola talked about it, she never really said yes or no. I know now, but why? He said it. He's still in love with you. She gave him a look like, Alaye, you're not serious. She had friend zoned him to a state where she just feel she loved him like a brother, if I'm to use that word. She had put him in that family zone. It's like a brother to me family zone kind of a thing.
You
that
have the
friend
rubbing
that
breast on his arm. Because of his brother. No, really. Did you see it in the bus? Did you see it in the bus when they were going to the camp?
If I talk, they'll say,
no, this kind of brother. No, really.
No.
You will not be hugging him like this. You will do like this because of brother.
No.
Do you hug your guy friends like that? You do that.
I don't touch people, though.
You know what
she was trying to do?
Your guy friends, you touch them like that.
What she was trying to do was eat her cake and have it. Shola was misbehaving. Shola wasn't giving her the sensitive side. So she would go and be her gay best friend. Hey, buddy, waiting. That one will pay attention to her. Shola was not giving her the son. This one was looking at her like she was the son. So she wanted to play two of them against each other. I could. Maybe she don't chop her now. She don't see how it is.
No, sorry. I don't think that. I don't think she's
emotional about this, and I get it. But I'm letting you understand that if you are take emotional out of it, some things cannot be helped. Sorry. Let him send the entire property and put it at Mona's feet. Mona is going to choose who she's going to choose. Mona, I did not see her really manipulating him for his love or rubbing it in his face.
It may not have been intentional, but she did it.
Yeah. I said she was being insensitive.
She was oblivious. It was insensitivity.
She was
yeah.
From the get-go, she chose Shola. She said, Shola asked me to marry him. And I said, yes. She was happy. I said,
no, remember they had broken up. Remember they had broken up before. They had broken up.
She chose to go with Shola at the end of the day. It was obvious from day one.
Sorry, I think that it's not that
Shola told me, Shola more on the couple side than Mona.
She was oblivious. I think she was insensitive because you do have a sense of distance. She was insensitive. Yeah, that she wasn't. It wasn't mean-spirited. She wasn't being wicked, but she was.
It's not like she was playing. She was insensitive. She wasn't
mean-spirited, but she was definitely insensitive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Remember, what caused?
Wait,
I'm coming. What caused the war of Troy?
So the couple go meet Femi. Not be your girlfriend, be that.
What caused the downfall of Troy?
That is how she had been rubbing her body on him.
The downfall of Troy.
It's a man's ego, I beg.
It's a man's ego.
Yeah,
nice one,
yes.
Yes.
The man's ego. Wait, I'm coming.
Now woman make that fight.
Over what? What was in the middle of that ego?
Over woman.
I'm coming. Wait. So it's not today. Lots of wars have been fought over women. The issue of who was it?
Over ego. Don't blame the woman.
Of course, there's ego in it now. There will be ego in it. That's normal.
It is ego.
It is ego. We know, but there is a catalyst.
You didn't have an ego. The woman will get level where she can make you lose your sense.
I beg you, is ego.
So there's a catalyst. The problem between Shola and Femi was the catalyst. Mona.
It's woman.
Let's call it. You say it's woman. People have died. People have died because of
ego. Woman didn't ask for your war. You trust
me. Exactly. She doesn't ask for your war. And one of you could have moved on.
Good.
It is ego.
Whether we want to accept it, whether I want to accept it or not, whether I want to accept it or not, the fact.
No, the primary cause is
you
ego.
Look at,
because it should have been something else. If it was a woman, people fight over land. People fight over money.
People fight over land, right? I agree.
It's ego.
But have you seen a situation where people would hassle over XYZ, what you think that would cause a typical fight between guys, and then when it finally comes to a certain species of women. It's almost the same thing with us women too. Women fight most of the time. The fight is
women fight over guys. Is it because of their ego?
Ndidi, as a guy,
the primary cause is woman.
No, it is ego because let me explain. If
you know why?
Woman, listen.
But that's what I'm saying. The worst part of the ego comes to play when it involves a woman. So the primary cause of the war is a woman.
No, it's ego.
It is ego. Do you know there's another? There are wars that have been fought over the minutiae of all things. There was a war that was fought because one man messed. The guy farted. The smell was horrible, and they could not decide who farted. And then, next thing you know, war.
Let me say again.
When ego comes to play, it is terrible. Ego, especially when they have power, it is terrible.
Can I say that if you see? I think that it's ego simply because we men, and okay, don't let me speak for the generality of men. If I see a very fine chick, and somebody else likes the girl,
you must have
something the caveman is triggered.
First of all, really, let's not lie to ourselves. A lot of these things often end up in lubricated friction. You see, it's still basically what this whole thing is about is sex, I think, usually, because there are other inlaid things. But when you remove that, I find that because we generally commoditize sex and things that have got to do with women, that is why, for example, you cannot say, oh, okay, this, my friend, you like this guy, have her. There are probably other finer women I will go and whatever. And, society doesn't help because we've been brought up to think that, at least in certain instances, that the love of a woman gives you some powers or some bragging rights or stuff like that. And I can imagine why a woman herself would say it is ego because, I mean, as fine as women are, they're just human beings like us ourselves. They are not really commodities. They are human beings. They can like you and then decide not to like you. You can't kill them for that. They are not commodities.
Let me ask you this.
Wait, let me finish. I'll allow you. I am saying this because it is important for men to realize that you cannot, yes, women themselves, maybe there's an aspect to which it helps or it builds their ego when men are fighting over them. I think vice versa as well. But they are human beings. They are not commodity. It is commodity that you will go to war over, like, the person is on the stock exchange or something. She's just a woman. She's one person. If she doesn't like you, that's not your problem. Go and meet somebody else. Go and whatever with somebody else. That is one reason why I can say that perhaps it is not, you can't blame Mona. Why? Because it's
she didn't ask for your help.
You like her, convince me that okay, look, I want you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you and stuff like that. Because
Someone never expressed himself until after marriage of 7 years.
Because, for example, if my friend is unhappy about something that makes me happy, so would I now start hiding stuff? I said, no, because I don't know what I will do now or how I will rejoice now. He will be angry. I mean, really, if you are my friend, you will be happy that I'm happy. That is why you are my friend, which means that if we've already agreed that one is a psychopath, but for a psychopath to be in love with you and can't even get the message, you don't even expect that type of person to even be happy for you when you are happy. That's what I'm saying. So I don't even think he loved her. He just lost it over her. Or
yeah, it was the idea. He loved an idea. It was.
He wanted the idea of having her.
That is how you can also trace it back to ego. And the problem I have with saying of someone or something, is that it ascribes you of personal responsibility. It goes back to what we were saying last week. Like I always, I was saying last week that because I wanted my son to inculcate the habit of apologizing when he's in the wrong, I would always tell him if I thought I did something or overreacted or harsh words, I would apologize, but then go on to say, you too, if you didn't do this now, I wouldn't have done that. And after some time, I realized that a no apology was better than that kind of apology. Why? Because it means I'm still not taking responsibility for my actions. Yes, it is understandable as human beings. If a person does this, the natural response is to react a certain way. But that is why we are higher animals and we have reason. I can then stop to think, yes, the message I've been pushing recently to him is, do not let other people's actions be the determinant of what you do. Always stop, step back, because ultimately, regardless of the reason why you did what you did, you are still going to have to be responsible for it. You might not be held accountable for it in the day-to-day sense, but you still have responsibility for your own action. So yes, let's even say they were being insensitive, they were all that. At the end of the day, you still have responsibility for your own action. And except it is under duress, nobody can make you do what you don't want to do. Even when they do sometimes, you are still held responsible for it. So take a step back. You are not a tree. Move. Take a step back. This person is this and that.
A few minutes more.
Yeah, sorry. Let's move on.
All right. Wow. Okay. I just want to say something. Yeah, yes, I know. I know. I'm very angry with Mona and Shola, but I'm not trying to say Femi was in the right or no. It was obvious that he had low self-esteem issues. That's why he was always looking at Shola like the bigger man or something. I think that's part of what caused his jealousy. And Femi is not in the clear, but I still maintain my vex on Mona.
I don't think he was just
understandable.
Thinking less of himself. I think it was also him thinking
he had no confidence.
It was, I'm the good guy now, so this thing will come to me because I am the good guy. A lot of people think like that. So that's the problem with a lot of Christians also. And
that's what makes them entitled. That's the source of entitlement.
Yes.